Welcome back, everyone, to Where the Water Tastes Like Wine. You're here with Randall Lefevre, otherwise known as DraxxKraven, when I'm tired of those switchblade-wielding boys fucking me over all the time. What do we have here?
No fence, gate, or sign marks the entrance to the cemetery. Just a moment ago, you weren't surrounded by graves, and now you are. How long have you been stepping on dead folks, fully unaware?
Observe the grave.
A wood board, bleached white. Unknown. The word was painted on black by a steady hand, each letter signed with a flourish. Whoever made this memorial had more compassion than money.
Hold a moment of silence.
You're already quiet, so maybe it's silly. But you instill that silence with intent. What else could someone do?
Be still.
A sparrow calls. Seems birds don't have much respect for the dead. You notice the grave marker isn't dug into the ground, just propped up on a tree.
I'll just straighten that up real quick.
Looks nicer now, but unmoored as these markers are, this grave in front of this tree, does this memorial even belong to it?
The anonymous grave. What do we got here?
The blistering sun has scared even birds into the shade. But a middle-aged woman and a young couple are still collecting scraps of cotton that the machinery missed. With a ragged voice, the older woman calls to you. Got any water?
I got enough.
The three of them rush over to you, suddenly reanimated. They pass around your canteen. When you get it back, it's empty. The woman squeezes your hand and sighs with relief. Sweetest thing I ever tasted, she tells you.
Move on. Thirsty cotton pickers. Nothing fancy there. A simple tale, but one told with intent. Oh boy. Here I am, once again. Not necessarily on death's door, but certainly not doing too well. Ugh. What do we got here?
The cave is really a man-made hole breaching into an earthen mound. The man, khakis dirtied by kneeling on the rough earth, has assembled a macabre little pile of skulls to the side.
What are you doing?
Readying these for sale, friend.
He wipes his hands on his pants.
This pile of skulls, clearly claimed from his enemies by an Indian chieftain, would be perfect for any cabinet of curiosities or sideshow attraction.
But why dig up the grave?
Why, these skulls belong to no one. They're just here, lying under this mound, waiting for an enterprising soul to make something of them. Isn't this what America's all about?
Look deeper into the mound.
Little sunlight reaches that deep in, but you can still see the skeletal remains. Their heads carelessly removed, laying neatly in their excavated resting places, each one lovingly surrounded by stone effigies, earthenware, and copper plates in the shape of winged warriors.
Give me those. Where's my skull? Give me those skulls back. I channel the power of 50 Cent. Give me that fucking skull.
You pause and consider this small man, greedily arranging someone's remains as though they were a trinket for a mantelpiece.
I could tell him to fuck off, but I'm much better at telling stories. It's what I do.
It's crude and ridiculous, but he's a crude and ridiculous man. You have him run off the mound, sworn never to tell of what he's seen, for fear of monsters and ghosts. It's a small thing, but a kindness, you hope.
Move on. The grave robber at the burial mound. Jeez. Maybe I'm glad I didn't take the train to Tampa. I'd have missed Tallahassee and all this cool shit. I get the impression that, you know, the trains are for after you've sort of explored all these areas, you know? You gotta walk it all first. It is literally the journey.
Excusez-moi.
Beckoning you over, the woman shows you a letter, beautifully typeset on thick vellum. You're struck by the scent of a fancy department store? She points on the parchment to the address.
This address, you know?
Her accent is very thick.
This is the same woman who took me to pray. Whatever. Sometimes they reuse images. It's fine. Take a closer
You
look.
are dismayed to read the first paragraph. Lorem ipsum dolor sit amet. And the address under the monogram in the letterhead. 12345 Road Street, Anytown, USA. The woman blinks, hopefully, leaning close over your shoulder.
Yes? You know this place?
She asks. Poor woman. She's been tricked.
Let her down easy.
This place doesn't exist, you try to explain as loud and slowly as possible.
Of course you exist.
The woman snorts, thumping a fist to her chest. You struggle to make yourself understood, but the poor woman whisks the letter away and stomps down the street. Ah well, c'est la vie.
The mysterious woman with a letter delivery. What story grew in the telling? Pecos Bill, the cowboy who tamed the wind. The story of Bill, the cowboy who rode into a storm. I know that one. Tamed the wind itself.
His smile lights up the room, or rather the cab of the locomotive. Folks gather round as he holds the pull cord. He's a showman through and through.
You'll want to cover your ears now for this next part.
I'll cover him.
Sure doesn't help much. Engineer pulls that chain and the whistle blasts inside your skull. He just smiles through it all. Man must be half deaf.
Tarnation!
A round of applause erupts from the small crowd. He passes out bubble gum to the shell-shocked kids, half of them in awe, half in tears.
Get shuffled on.
Remember now who gets you there on the advertised. Casey Jones.
Everyone's all talk as they head back to their seats. That engineer sure is handsome. Gosh, and that whistle sounded just like a whippoorwill, didn't it? Ain't this the way to travel?
Move on. Casey Jones, the theatrical railroader. I feel like there's some sort of story hidden under all that I'm supposed to understand, but I'll be honest, I didn't quite get it. Oh well. Maybe someone else out there did. Oh. Nice. This new road turns awful close to in front of an ancient farmhouse. A farmer stands in the shoulder, a bloody piglet at his feet. Cars come here now, he says. I guess I gotta put in a fence. He offers you the meat, too angry to eat it himself. It's a filling dinner for you, though. Mmm! Varmint stew! Just eat it! What do we got here?
First tree in a mile, and it's a stout myrtle with bald branches. No relief from the sun out here. Leaves would help. Someone hadn't replaced them all with dusty glass bottles.
What the fuck? Rest.
You cool down in the shade. The breeze blows through the bottles, making a series of heavy, hollow sounds. You think about wind chimes, and the smell of fresh pies on windowsills.
Nod off.
The dense sound of many conversations cuts your nap short. There's no one around. Not until you look up at the bottles. They're filled with bright blue orbs, and words echo from them. None seem to notice your presence.
I could use some more sad tales. Listen to the weeping.
They need to check the water hole. Is this hell?
My body is making Father ill. The surrounding bottles are silent. Coherent words deteriorate into choked sobs.
Move on. The tree with bottles in its branches. Did that count as rest? I don't know. I can't rightly say. It seems like it should have. Sweet.
He sings as he works, his voice warm and soft as the late afternoon sun. The air's sweet with the tang of recently cut sugarcane. There's a practiced, almost soothing precision to the way he works. He looks up and nods hello.
Greetings and salutations.
Making molasses, he says to your unasked question. I sell the blackstripe in town. Farmers use it for feed. Bitter as hell. He grins.
Smells a little strange.
I don't notice it no more. I've been doing this a while. I keep back a few bottles to share. I don't charge neither. Folks around here need what they can get. Makes a mean loaf of bread. He nods at the barrels. I'm about done filtering. Got to boil it next. Lend a hand?
Happy to help.
You help him haul the barrels over to the metal boiler. You pour in the juice and set the fire. It's hot work. He fetches water and dark bread, and you share the small meal and a smile. It's good to find another who takes joy in honest labor.
Move on. The man who made molasses. It seems as if I could have turned that into either I could have turned that into money or health. I'm already full on health, so it didn't give me any more, but it could have. Slick. What's going on in St. Petersburg? Alright, what you got? Story about the red creature in the fur coat. You think that really happened? No way. What it turned into? The red creature with black fur in Detroit that demands respect from travelers.
A sign in town says a farmer is hiring for the sugarcane harvest. A bag-eyed man drives you and 10 hungry strangers out into the cane, where he leaves you. Everyone gets a hatchet, but no instruction. The foreman is missing for some reason. Nobody is sure what to do.
Oh, great.
A young man in a red jacket stuffs all the hatchets in his pack. This is stupid, he says. I'm leaving. You can get $5 for a nice axe like this. He marches off into the cane and others follow. Don't! A young woman shouts after them. It's not right.
She's right.
The thief left some hatchets behind. So you and the 3 chumps left start chopping cane. It's brutal work. None of you know what you're doing. Keep going, the girl calls. Her hands are bleeding, and her face is bright with sweat. Soon, her cane is piled high.
Chop, chop, chop.
Sometime after noon, the truck rolls up with a boozy foreman riding shotgun. Good work, he croaks. The girl wipes her blood-pinked hands on her apron to take her pay, but doesn't notice the crumpled body in the back of the truck, or the hatchets heaped beside it.
Did I just like harvest sugarcane for fucking Jigsaw? I want to play a game.
Faded shotgun houses sit in rows under the tall shadows of smokestacks. A worker in full uniform hollers from a porch. "Hey, traveler! Throw me inside! Got some literature here!"
Oh boy. Alright, I'm gonna go inside.
As you shut the door, the man glances out the window and draws the shades. "Landlord toss you out? Ha! Don't mind me, it's none of my business." He pries up a floorboard with a crowbar.
Watch.
You glance over the man's shoulder to see inside the compartment. Canned goods, a pile of leaflets, the wood stock of a rifle. He replaces the board and stands.
Now look away.
He hands you a can of whole potatoes, then a leaflet which reads, "No evictions, no fascists, no hunger." "Headed back to the shop, but we'll have a Bible meet soon."
Sorry, I travel around.
Nothing wrong with that. Careful in those boxcars, traveler, and take care of your neighbor.
Thanks. The metal worker in the company house. Straight shot to that story and then south to Tampa, I believe. Should be Tampa. Hopefully I have enough money for a train ticket, because it looks like there aren't many ways out of here.
You rest in a field where a well-dressed stranger talks your ear off on all manner of subjects. The weather, fireflies in summer, how combine harvesters work. After a while, the mood shifts.
Heard my death bones this morning.
Death bones?
Death bones. Heard 'em rattle like clank, clink, clank. More startling than wind chimes in a tornado.
He plucks dry grass and chews on a piece.
Ain't much time left now.
Any family?
Not much. Sent him a letter. Mostly apologies. Bothered the postwoman a lot about how to spell this and that. Ain't that bad.
He seems to perk up some.
I did right by most folks.
Nod.
Sure was good to meet you.
The man pauses, rubs his chin in contemplation.
Don't let the bedbugs bite.
He walks off slow. After his silhouette becomes small in the horizon, but before he vanishes, you see him collapse to the ground.
And just like that, the man who seemed alright with death. Well, I met him. He's alright. Oh, so this is Miami. That's fine. Thankfully, Manny Pardo hasn't been born yet, so we should be safe wandering the streets. And then we'll deal with that newcomer next time. But, there are stories to collect here. Explore.
You've enjoyed a break on the beach, staring off the edge of the world. But the sun is starting to go down, and the breeze is getting stronger. As you're about to stand, a man plunks down near you. He sits a polite distance off, but looks at you expectantly.
Howdy.
He smiles weakly. "I just got fired. First Spanish-American radio host in the state, and they fired me. They needed to make cuts, I get that, but I'm twice the..." He trails off. "I don't know what I'm going to tell my wife.
Be sympathetic.
I could try the docks, but there's already more men than jobs, and I could barely support the family on what they pay." He hangs his head. "And my boy, I can't bring myself to tell them. I don't know what to do."
Sit with him.
He calms as the sun drops below the horizon. An expanse of darkness is ahead of you. Turning back to the lights of the city reminds you that the world hasn't gone away. After a long silence, he speaks. It's never going to get better, is it?
I can't break this man's heart. I already got a sad in his tail. Let's give him some
It
hope.
takes you a moment to notice his sobbing over the noise of the waves. I've got to tell them, haven't I? I'll go to the port in the morning and see if they'll take me. You can no longer make him out in the dark, but his hand touches your shoulder as he leaves.
Move on. Orange juice. Delicious. What do we got for earning cash? We can use a sewing machine. Lie. Raise your hand. Filled with machines you've never seen before. You see spools of leather straps, sliding frames of steel. Nothing you recognize. Well, crap. They explain the machinery to your group, but the instructions are totally mystifying. A thick-armed woman next to you makes a grunt of recognition. She probably actually knows how to use a sewing machine, huh? You know you absolutely cannot fake competency here. Fake a catatonic spell. Admit your lie. The foreman breaks into uproarious laughter. I get at least one of you folks a day. Everyone wants work. Look, I appreciate you coming clean. He turns to the rest of the group. Anyone else want to admit they can't sew? No one raises their hand. Look, I'll just go. The foreman makes a counteroffer. Heavy lifting in the back warehouse. Pays less than working with the machines, but hey, it's cash. All day long, though, whenever you see the foreman walking by, you feel a flush of embarrassment breaking out on your cheeks. Move on. Fake a catatonic spell. Alright, that'll do for this episode of Let's Play Where the Water Tastes Like Wine. Next time, we'll check out this stuff. If you liked what you saw, if you want to continue the adventure, please hit subscribe. And if you think that I do is really keen, you can send me a couple bucks monthly on Patreon, and I can use that money to do fantastic, amazing things like make more videos, start streaming, hire an artist to do cool shit, and do the coolest thing I can think of, admitting personal incompetences on my own part. Did you know I still don't know how to drive?